council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? This is why I've invented the 5-minute meeting. There'll be music during this. Okay. All right, Ashland City Council meeting of June 15th. This one starts off by saying, hey, I want to add a reconsideration of all the new study sessions hastily approved at the last meeting to the agenda of this meeting. And the vote was 3-2. 3-2? What does 3-2 mean? These three said yes. You know why it's 2? This one was late. So anyway, it's passed. That was passed. I know. And then the public forum, a nuclear energy advocate guy said, I propose that Ashland adopt a proclamation, whereas the city of Ashland supports nuclear power because it's been unfairly maligned. And then, of course, the Lawyers for Justice lady, she said, oh, I'm trying to get grant funding for a police liaison position, and that's why one of those items is on the consent agenda. And then the former head of the Art Commission lady, she said, I think all commission heads and their liaisons should interview and pick our commission members first, not that mayor, and we should be allowed to make sure people agree with us before we allow them into our private club. Public commissions. And so I support this guy's upcoming motion because it's not an attempt to grab power from the mayor. And then the city manager report. Friday, the county COVID restrictions go from extreme to moderate, so that's today. And then the city is planning to open all the city buildings on July 12th, pending OSHA rules, and some remote workers will come back, and city council meetings might begin in person at the end of July, beginning of August, and commission meetings, those are TBD, and this is the city attorney's last meeting. He has been invaluable. And then this one said, she goes, hey, the attorney is amazing, I will miss him. And this one said, he has ably served the city, and then he read a list of synonyms for the word avuncular from a thesaurus, and then this one said, you were so helpful to me as a new counselor, you are replaceable. And then, here we go. So this one goes, he asked the city manager a budget reporting question just to be able to counter this one's budget letter in the tidings. And then this one said something about utility fees, and then this one asked she asked the city manager a question just to counter the other one's declaration of those budget numbers. It was absolute madness. And then the consent agenda. Some boring items were just approved. And now the poll item. And this one goes, hey, this $10 million energy on-bill program doesn't cost us any money, right? And the city guy goes, no. And this one goes, hey, here's a quick summary of what that's all about. She says, this would be the city applying to get a 10-year $10 million zero-interest loan, specifically so that we could re-lend it to citizens at like 5% interest, maybe specifically for cheap items like electrical upgrades and the removal of natural gas appliances, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then this guy goes, the city shouldn't become a de facto banker, and I'm worried about staff time expenses. And this one says, yeah, I'm also worried about that stuff. And then this one said, this one says, she goes, hey, this is about social equity. And this one says, she said a lot about funding instruments and risk, and it's pretty blabbery. It's like she's the city finance person. And then this one said, the Climate Commission loves this. And this goes, I move we do it. And then vote 4-2. Surprise, it passes. And then, oh, by the way, the Scout Tap House gets a liquor license. All approved for that. And then the 2-year union contract extension for the police. Oh boy, here we go. So this one is like, I respect the cops, but the budget is in crisis, so I can't support this $135,000 in raises. And this one says, does this report say that Ashland cops are like in the top 5 in pay? And the police chief says, well, top 5 now, but next month we can drop down to maybe top 6. And this one goes, oh, I don't want to go below 5. We need to pay more for good cops. And city attorney says, hey, if we say no, this could go to arbitration, and new negotiations could cost us way more. And then hair on fire. And then move to approve the police union contract extension 4-2, as always. Then the second approval of the amendment allowing duplexes to be built on single homes, all approved. Single home land, single property, you know what I mean. And then the approval of the new city attorney, and that was all approved. We'll see her later. Next, the Pioneer Hall and Community Center ad hoc committee creation and their scope of work. So the city guy goes, hey, we had a plan to fully redo both buildings, but all of a sudden council wants this ad hoc just to look at the quickest way to make the most basic repairs. And then this guy says, oh, I moved to create this committee with the guidelines put in by the city staff, whatever those are, and that was all approved. And then the change committee members appointment process. So this guy, he says, oh, I'm reconsidering this plan of mine, which was all his. People are making this into a big deal for some reason. And so I'm just making this a recommendation for more information and looking at minor tweaks to the existing charter and committee member appointment process. But this one goes, committee heads should choose their own committees. Ah! And then this one goes, she goes, hey, this was a solution looking for a problem. Boy, I've always forwarded every application to every council person and almost never got a response. So thanks for backing off on this guy. And that was all approved. And then this one, she brought this up earlier, right? The move to reconsider the upcoming added new study sessions that were added at the last meeting. And so this guy goes, here he is. This guy says, all things are just decided and then handed to us to vote, and I'm not cool with that. And then there was a lot of discussion about how setting up all these study sessions actually can be done and massaged and changed without this complete reconsider motion. And you know what's going to fix this? Another study session, of course. All agreed. So the motion failed. So it was her motion, and she was like, well, nah, we'll do the study session instead. That's fine. And then, supplemental budget changes. Finance director talked about moving $1,000 here to cover things there, and it seemed pretty basic. And so that passed 5-1. She was the one. And then monthly social equity and racial justice discussion. This is her thing always. So she does this, and she says, this one and I, you know, we have we've given the new commission, the Racial Justice Social Equity Commission, the job of looking at all the new racial equity language recently added to city employee handbooks and some other specifics, and have them report back in 2 months. But then one mayor, this mayor says, you two are great at this. And then this one says, I move to approve the new Racial Justice Commission work plan, and that was all approved. And then the water treatment plant chemical purchase, that was all approved. And then the 2% cost of living COLA salary increases for non-union employees. Surprise, against all salary increases. And this one says, hey, this is a tight job market, right? I mean, and the city lady says, oh, yeah, not many people are applying for any city jobs. And this one says, keeping full city staffing is critical. And then this one says, have I mentioned I'm against it? And then this one goes, yeah, me too. And then this one goes, hey, city employees have been disrespected by this council, so I'm for this because of that. And then this one says, I think council's been pretty nice to staff, so I don't know what this one's talking about. And then this one voted, I move to pass this COLA, cost of living increase, whatever, so that non-union people get the same raise as union people, and that vote went, how do you think it went? That's right, 4-2 passed. And then the resolution to increase fees for different city things like permits and court fees and parks and rec program and all that stuff. And the finance director says, oh, these fee increases are aimed at voluntary stuff, and most people don't need these things. We're trying to target the big people, money people, and development projects whose builders are getting more than they pay for anyway. Not much discussion on that. 4-2, of course. And then the Ashland Street overlay engineering for $459,000. They decided to hire Dowell, a company called Dowell, to create the engineering plan to repave all of Ashland Street coming up. Not soon, but it's coming up. So they're doing the engineering on that. And so that was all approved. And then end of meeting. This one. I always wanted to say this council needs to come together. I don't like social media comments and the newspaper articles, and things have been divisive and uncomfortable. I don't like it. And then this one goes, hey, it's only been 6 months, so let's hopefully we can be more collaborative, and I appreciate every councilor who was elected, and they can make many volunteer hours and to make the city better, and I too hope that we can come together in the future. And then this one ends and says, hey, disagreeing, it's part of the democratic process. There you go. That was it. End of meeting. You're welcome.